Hello everyone. So it was requested that I look into methimazole, which is basically a thyroid medication. When I looked it up at first, like my first question was, is this something you need a prescription for? And in the US, sadly it is. But what I found interesting, and this could possibly be a loophole, was that they do have it where you could buy it off of sites like to give to your pets. There are a number of medications where they work for us and in our pets we can also use them either in the same way or for a different treatment. So methimazole, even though it's a thyroid medication, if applied topically, it also lightens. And from what studies I did read about, one was 2002, one was I think within the last 10 years, the lightening is significant, even so that they're looking into how much of this could actually cause depigmentation, but it is really effective for people who have melasma. You can get melasma from being pregnant, having any type of hormonal change, any type of, you could get it from just sun exposure. There's multiple reasons why people could just have melasma. So people were given this methimazole topically, and they're also given I think it was 4% kojic acid, which is one of the strongest kojic acids. When I was doing a lot of research on making my own kojic acid body washes and creams, which are all on Patreon, I was basically trying to figure out what percentage I wanted to make it, and I learned that going over 4 to 5% kojic acid is just just don't. I think a lot, if you use it and it's too strong, you can actually darken yourself. So they're basically using one of the strongest kojic acid percentages, and they're also using the methimazole, which I believe it was methimazole 5%, and everyone loved the methimazole. Now all these people had melasma, and they're putting it on one side of their face, but it lightened everything much quicker. For melasma, usually people use hydroquinone, but from different studies, there are side effects and drawbacks to using hydroquinone. So they've done methimazole versus hydroquinone, and as far as I think safety and efficacy, methimazole won out, just because hydroquinone, you guys already know there's some sketchy things about it. People still use it, but you definitely only want to use it for maybe short bursts of time and then take a break from it. With methimazole, yes, 100% it works. The only drawback that I found to this is that it looks like it's going to be pricey. First off, methimazole basically comes in tablet form, so you can get it in a gel, but it's pretty difficult. There's only so many sites that are sites where you need a prescription to even order, but the easiest way to get it is just in pill form. I'm not sure if there's a way to break down that tablet. Well, yeah, because it looks like a chalky little tablet. I'm sure if there's a way to break that down and make it into your own cream or whatever, but yeah, they do have the gel. The gel is not as popular as the pills because that's just the popular way of what people are using it for. There are sites where you can get this for your cats or your dogs, veterinary sites. It does work. We're not questioning whether it works or not. Works pretty quickly, and I think why they were doing or why they were asking the question in one of the studies that I was reading about, does this depigment, is because they don't yet know, people who are on this for long term, just how white or light a person can become on it. The people with melasma, they only had to use it for, gosh, a little over a month, and then they were done. It worked really quickly, but melasma is different than someone who's trying to lighten their entire body. So I don't think the question is, does this work? The question is, how can you get it? And even when I did see the methimazole gel tubes, they look pretty small. I think there's only 10 grams of it in the tube. So if you can figure out how to do that, then good for you. But I think for all over body use, it doesn't seem realistic for just how it's available, how it's marketed. I think for people who want to use this, who can get their hands on the gel or the cream, I think this is better for people who have their face just will not lighten. So like really, really stubborn areas, or maybe like your knuckles, things like that, because it's not sold large enough to really do anything. And some of these small tubes are like $45 or $30, where you can get the tablets if you have GoodRx, which you don't need insurance to use GoodRx. GoodRx, anyone can use it whether you have insurance or not. And some of these, those tablets, the methimazole, you can get those for $10, and it lists like where you can get it, depending on where you live. So it'll pop up the closest CVS to you, or the Publix, or the Walgreens, and you can see the different prices along there. So it does seem that it's much, much, much easier to get, the tablets. But from there, where do we go? I mean, more research needs to be done in how to make that into a cream base, because I think if you're doing it at home, it's probably going to be a cream rather than gel, unless you're using like aloe vera as a base. But like I said, it would you definitely have to like play around with it a little bit. But yes, it does work. It does seem to actually work pretty well. How quick, I'm not sure, because again, most of the studies are with people who actually have some type of issue, whether it be hyperpigmentation or melasma. So for all over body, I don't want to say depigmentation, because it wasn't outright said that it does that, but it was questioned for people who are using this longer than 6 weeks, just what will it do. But as far as being safer than hydroquinone, it 100%, from what I read in the studies, it is safer. So I'm wondering if any of you guys have heard about this. Have you used it? Are there other countries where you do not need a prescription to get this? Because obviously that would probably be the easiest route to go. I'm not sure if you have a pet what you would even say, because like for pets, I'm not sure if they're also using it for pets who have thyroid issues or not. There's lots of products or supplements, what would you call this? There's lots of prescriptions out there that basically you can use in a number of ways. Like I've taken acne medication that was prescribed to me, that's also prescribed to people who have like heart issues. So it's like using them across the board. Like there's lots of things that are like that, but not quite sure how to get that prescription, aside from if you have like a thyroid issue or something like that. And then the issue is getting it in the gel form, because mostly the tablet form seems to be just the most popular. So let me know if you guys have heard about this. Have you used this? If we need to do more research into this topic, we will, but I kind of backed off on it once I saw the price of one of the little tubes. I was like, okay, this wouldn't work for me, because I would want to use it full body. And then of course the question is, how long would I have to use it? Could I stop while, before it lightened me too much? Because if it could possibly depigment, that definitely would be a risk just for me, just because I don't like the stark white, like bright white skin tone. I like a little bit of like a yellow or even like a lighter red base. But this is all preference, so we have a lot more to look into it. But yeah, a new topical for you guys, methimazole. It's like we're hearing about new things like every week, but I think for long-term lightening, this is actually in the game. Like this is actually a runner. Even hydroquinone, it's something where you stop, you can only stop for so long, and if you do stop, you have to do something in the meantime. Like you can't just go cold turkey. And I think for a lot of people, that makes certain topicals more attractive. If they can stop, take a break from it, and maybe use something a little less strong, and not have to worry about like darkening